Hello, my name is Anne Marie Milton, and I am the Westlaw Academic Account Manager at the University of Nebraska College of Law. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about practical law, which I think will be very helpful for you as you work in the clinic this summer. To access practical law, you want to go to lawschool.westlaw.com and enter in your Westlaw username and password. Hopefully a lot of you have been here or have a saved password, so you access Westlaw here at the top of the page. But today we're going to choose practical law, and that will open our practical law screen here. Practical law looks a lot like Westlaw, and you can actually toggle between Westlaw Practical Law and Practical Law Connect here at the top of the page. Many of you may have the tendency to just want to search through practical law, but today I'm going to challenge you to actually use the practice areas or resource types down here, because I think this will give you a more focused research session and really pinpoint what you need to find when you use practical law. So today we're going to start up, and I'm going to just choose the practice areas, startups and small businesses. So what you see here is that you can actually look at a specific resource type that deals specifically with startups and small businesses. There's also specific topics underneath startups and small businesses. So if there's one that you know that you want, you can choose a more detailed topic. But today I'm just going to stick with resource types and choose practice notes. So what practice notes are is that they are guidance and explanation of current law and practice in this particular area, so in the area of startups and small businesses. And so what that means for you is that a practice note is kind of like a experienced attorney who's explaining an area of law to you. And so it can be really beneficial, especially as you're working in the clinic, because you can get up to speed in a certain area of law very quickly. You'll also know when you're notice that when you're looking at these practice notes, you'll see some of these green maintain buttons. And what those mean is that this document has been maintained as of 5 p.m. the previous day. So as of 5 p.m. yesterday, this document was maintained and checked that it is current law and that you can rely upon it. If it doesn't have a green maintain button, then it will have an actual date, and that is when the document is current through. So we're going to go ahead and click Affordable Care Act. So for example, let's just say that you were advising a small business on how they have to comply with the Affordable Care Act. And so this practice note gives you kind of a little overview right here, a high-level overview of what's going to be included in this practice note. And then you'll see over here on the left that you can actually click into a particular section of the practice note. If you know that you want to see a particular section, you can actually click into one of these sections, or you can just scroll down and see what you've got in the practice note. And so what is really valuable, what our practitioners really enjoy about practical law, is that it's written in plain language. It's easy to understand. It doesn't have a lot of legalese. So it's really just trying to explain the practice note is just trying to explain to a practicing attorney what they need to know and get them up to speed in a particular area of law. Now that we've seen what a practice note is, let's take a look at some standard documents and clauses. So to go back, I'm going to click the back arrow up here, and this is going to take me back to the practice notes page. I'll scroll up to the top of the page, and you'll see a little breadcrumb trail here, and I'm going to go back to that startups and small businesses topic area, and you'll see that there's standard documents and standard clauses. And these are standard documents and clauses are up-to-date precedents that reflect the current law and practice. And they also give you drafting and negotiating guidance. So what you see here is that we're in the particular subject matter of startups and small businesses, but you can actually filter over here if you want to take a look more specifically at a particular practice area or topic. You can filter there. But I'm just going to scroll down, and I'm just going to choose one of these standard documents. And when you pull up the standard document, you'll notice that this is a sample, it'll give you a little brief overview of what you're looking at. So this is a sample complaint. And then you'll also have these little notes that you can read before using the document. And what that does is it points you to what you need to pay attention to before you're drafting this document. So it can be very helpful to understand, okay, what is this document assuming you know, or assuming that you're including, what kinds of things you need to know before drafting it, things like that. So those are really helpful because this is almost like a mentor who's saying, make sure you are doing X, Y, and Z before you do this, before you create this document, and you're getting all of that directly through practical law. Additionally, the standard documents and clauses can be downloaded and saved into a Word document, directly into a Word document, so you can start drafting right away. So you can see, you can actually download this, you can open it directly into Word from your computer, you can print it, you can email it, you have a lot of different functions there. And so, each section may have a different note. This just kind of varies depending on the document or clause that you're looking at. And again, it's just giving you some tips to think about as you're drafting the document, which is extremely helpful. Okay, going back up, I want to show you, so we've seen both practice notes and standard documents, and you can also see clauses as well. But let's go back and actually look at state Q&A. And so this can be really helpful because you may be advising a client on their business, their startup business in Nebraska, or maybe they have businesses in Nebraska and Iowa, and so you want to know what the law is in the different states. So again, I'm just going to go back to the Practical Law Startups and Small Businesses topic page and choose State Q&A right here. Once you're in the state Q&A, you'll see that you get kind of an alphabetical listing of all the different states and different types of law that apply in the different states. So you can search through all of those states, or if you know specifically what your jurisdiction is, you can come over here to the left side in the filters, and I am going to just choose Iowa and Nebraska. So sticking with my example of, if let's say you had a client that you were advising, so we picked Iowa, and then we'll also pick Nebraska as well. And so you'll get a rundown of different areas of law and how they apply in the different states. And so, for example, if you were advising your client on what the anti-discrimination laws are in Nebraska, you could use this document. Remember, I talked about that green maintain button. So here is an example of where there isn't a green maintain button, so you know that this is current law as of January 30th of this year. And so what that means for you is you just need to double check and make sure the law has not changed, but know that this information you're looking at is current as of January 30th, 2018. And so what it gives you is just kind of an overview of all of the anti-discrimination laws here. And so you can jump into different areas of the text directly from those table of contents. And you can also see that there are different links. So links to statutes or terms that you may need to know or may need to define if you're drafting something or advising your client. And you can always, just like with Westlaw, you can add annotations here on Practical Law. You can save things to a folder, you can email it, you can print it, and you can download it. So there are a lot of different functions and a lot of things to kind of help you as you're advising your clients in the clinic. So this is a really helpful tool because you can quickly and easily, like I said, you can quickly and easily get up to date about a specific area of law, or if your client has a specific question, you can kind of take a look at Practical Law and really direct them on what the law is saying in your state or about your issue. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover with practical law. I encourage all of you to take a look at practical law over the summer. I'm just going to click that practical law button at the top of the page to bring us back to the home page. And you can take a look at the different practice areas, look more deeply into some of the additional resource types, or choose your jurisdiction and see what's out there. Given our time, because I just want to make sure that this training is very efficient, I want to also show you something called Drafting Assistant Essential, and specifically something called Deal Proof. So I'm going to come back to lawschool.westlaw.com, and we access Westlaw and Practical Law here. And all of you at Nebraska have tools available to you that are in what we call the Practice Ready package. So if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to take a look at that Practice Ready tab. These are really helpful in your second and third years as you start to move past those, doctrinal 1L classes and really start diving into maybe some drafting classes or some more practical law based classes. And so I'm going to scroll down here and see and show you Drafting Assistant Essential. And so if you click on Drafting Assistant Essential, if you're already logged into lawschool.westlaw.com, you should be able oops, I might have clicked on the support, sorry. You should be able to come right in, but you may have to re-enter your credentials. And so I am just going to upload a document. That's the first thing that you need to do when you come into Drafting Assistant is upload your document. So Drafting Assistant is used once you, let's say, for example, you've drafted an agreement or a document for your client or in your clinic, and you upload a Word document. Right now, you cannot upload anything but a Word document. It will not accept PDF documents, for example, so make sure it's in Word format. And then you'll see that you have a whole suite of tools right here. But today, I'm going to talk specifically about Deal Proof. And again, if you go to that Practice Ready tab, you can get a lot of information about these other tools. You can also reach out to me directly if you need some more information about those or would like them. But I'm going to choose Deal Proof. And so Deal Proof is a tool that we use, that practitioners use predominantly for transactional-based practice. And it's basically, I like to think of it as, this is what you use to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. So sometimes when you're drafting documents, it is very detail-oriented in the form of, formatting your work, and it's not necessarily connected to the substance of the agreement or the document that you're creating, but you need to make sure you get those details right, because the court or the opposing party will be looking for mistakes. And so Deal Proof can help you with that. And so what you do is you can select a profile. So I encourage you to just use the default. You can create a new profile if you want, and creating a new profile will just allow you to have some other settings, but the default profile is probably sufficient for what you need to do. And then you just choose Analyze. And when Deal Proof is analyzing your document, it's going through the document, it's analyzing your metadata, and it's looking for inconsistencies or problems or issues with your document, with what you have drafted. And so what you see is the list of results. And so you can see that the flag, the red flag is not to be confused with a key site flag or something that says that you're, relying on bad law. These are just when we analyzed the document, Deal Proof said, I found 66 instances where there may be a problem, and I want you to take a look at it. And so you'll see that you can look at the flags by type or the flags by section. And I recommend doing it by type just because it spells out specifically what Deal Proof is finding. And so here you see that you have some numeration problems. So if you click on numeration, it's going to tell you that they think that maybe this is numbered incorrectly. And so you need to take a look at it and make sure that the numbers are corresponding correctly. Text or number mismatchments. And so you'll see that they have the actual page number, and then they'll show you the highlighted section. Keep in mind that you cannot actually edit the document over here. What you would need to do is then determine whether or not you need to change this, and if so, go into your Word document and change it there. So then you can just hit the back number and you can take a look at all of those discrepancies. And so that is just a really easy way for you to make sure that all of the details in the document you've created are accurate. That is the extent of what I have for you here today. So we went through the different kinds of things that you see on practical law, as well as the deal proof here. I did forget to mention here at the bottom, you can export this to yourself. You can download it to your computer or email it with all of that information in the deal proof. So I highly recommend that you take a look at some of these resources. So this right here was just kind of the drafting assistant if you need some more information about what these different things do or are. You can take a look here to get a little bit more support. And that is all available, again, through lawschool.westlaw.com up here, and then choosing that Practice Ready tab right there. And so make sure you take a look at all of those practice ready tools, because they're all available to you for free, provided by your law school, and they can really help you as you are taking your second and third year courses, doing clinical work, drafting classes, doing those kinds of things. All of these tools can be really helpful. So I appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Anne Marie Milton. If you need to get a hold of me, you can always email me anytime if you have any questions regarding Westlaw, practical law, or any of those practice ready tools. You can contact me via email. My email address is just annemarie.milton, right there. That's my name, at tr.com. So if you have any questions, please contact me. And if not, I wish you the best of luck in your clinical work and through the rest of law school. Thank you.